I just look at, and I know Steelers fans look at it this way and said, all right, who's the new guy? Who's going to be the new guy? I mean, we got the unknown and Chuck Noll in his 30s, and we got Bill Cowher in his 30s, and we got Mike Tomlin in his 30s, and who's this up-and-coming guy? Who's he going to be? And it's Mike McCarthy, even though he's a Yinzer from Pittsburgh. You know what that means. But even though he's one of them, they didn't want this. And I'm wondering if Mike McCarthy really wants it too. Yes, he wants to coach the Steelers. But the Steelers, Mike, they need to rebuild. I know Art Rooney said, no way. Why waste time rebuilding? You need to rebuild. When you're at a press conference saying, hey, why wouldn't we want Aaron Rodgers to come back? Well, I don't know, because he's 42. And because
that's just one reason.
You got an old quarterback. You got an old defense. And if you look at the Super Bowl teams now, how did the Patriots come back? The Patriots have a young quarterback, but they spent in free agency. We know the Steelers don't do that. So it's not a quick turnaround where they go out in free agency and make all these splash signings. How did the Seahawks come back? They spent a little bit in free agency, but they drafted very well. The Steelers used to do that. Steelers have fallen off with hitting on their draft picks. So they're kind of in no man's land. They got an old quarterback. They don't spend in free agency. They haven't drafted well. They were fortunate to win 10 games, but if I look at their roster, if we're being honest, that's a 7-10, 8-9 kind of team, not a AFC North divisional champ team, based on what they have going forward.
One message to the folks I know who have been in the anti-Tomlin camp for a long time. There's a chance that Mike Tomlin was, like those cooking shows where they turn you loose in the kitchen with a bunch of just like weird, here's what we have, turn it into something palatable, right? Like he would take a cupboard with a bag of marshmallows and some paprika, graham crackers, right? Soy sauce, and turn it into something good. And they're going to find out. They're going to find out how good Mike Tomlin was. Because, I saw Art Rooney say that they wanted Mike McCarthy because of his track record in developing quarterbacks. Oh, you mean Brett Favre when he was already fully developed? You mean Aaron Rodgers, a generational talent who required no development and if anything resisted being developed? Although he had the weird throwing motion up. He did let himself get coached away from that. But Dak Prescott, he didn't develop Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott was developed by Jason Garrett. So, you need an answer at quarterback. And on that point, Mike McCarthy was asked yesterday whether or not, if he had a personal preference in a perfect world, best case scenario, would he want Aaron Rodgers to return? Here's what Mike McCarthy had to say.
In your best case scenario, do you want Aaron Rodgers back as your quarterback next year?
That's a nice way he asked that, right? That was slick. But, definitely. I don't see why you wouldn't. When guys are up at that stage of their career, they need to step away and decompress. I think that's very important. The game is so emotional, what these men commit to and what they put into it. I think that time away is important. And I have spoken to Aaron, and so that's really where we are there. But I was able to sit back and watch the games. I watched most of the Pittsburgh games on TV, and I thought he was a great asset for the team.
Look, they had an extensive relationship in Green Bay, for better or worse. I still defer to the reporting from Tyler Dunn, a Bleacher Report, about how things went at the end. Aaron Rodgers reportedly had some strong feelings about Mike McCarthy. He ended up in Pittsburgh in the first place because of his strong feelings about Mike Tomlin. I think the Steelers need to tread lightly here. They don't want it to be perceived by Rodgers that the team doesn't want him.
Steelers Nation, lock in right now, because what is happening around this draft cycle is exactly the kind of moment that separates good franchises from great ones. And once again, Pittsburgh is sitting in a position of power. When you look at prospects like T.J. Parker coming out of Clemson, what you are really seeing is not just another edge rusher on a list. You are seeing the type of defensive weapon that fits the Steelers' DNA almost too perfectly. This is a franchise that was built on pressure, built on intimidation, built on making quarterbacks uncomfortable for 4 quarters. And Parker is the kind of player who keeps that identity alive for the next decade. Yes, his sack numbers dropped from 11 in 2024 to 5 this past season, and that is what casual fans will focus on. But real football people know that production does not always tell the full story. What matters is the film, and the film shows a player with elite length, violent hands, rare bend around the edge, and a motor that never shuts off. At the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Parker reminded everyone why he was once considered a locked-in first-round talent. Offensive tackles struggled to... Now imagine this for a second. You already have a defense that thrives on chaos, a defense that lives in the backfield, a defense that wins games by taking away time and space. Adding a player like T.J. Parker into that system is not about replacing anyone. It is about amplifying everything Pittsburgh already does well. It is about waves of pressure. It is about never letting an offense breathe. It is about building a front that can dominate not just for one season, but for years. And this is where the Steelers' long-term vision becomes clear. Pittsburgh does not rebuild by tearing everything down. They reload. They stack talent. They draft culture. They look at traits, not just box scores. A player like Parker fits exactly into that philosophy. He is young, he is coachable, he has elite physical tools, and most importantly, he has already shown he can perform against top-level competition. Look at the way the Steelers have historically built their defense. They always prioritize the trenches. They always believe that championships are won by controlling the line of scrimmage. Whether it was the Steel Curtain era, the Blitzburgh era, or the modern pass rush heavy defenses, the formula has never changed. Pressure creates mistakes. Mistakes create turnovers. Turnovers win games. Now add context. The AFC is loaded with elite quarterbacks. You are not winning this conference by playing soft defense. You are not winning by hoping your secondary holds up for 6 seconds. You win by hitting the quarterback over and over. You win by forcing quick decisions, rushed throws, broken pockets. T.J. Parker is exactly the kind of player who changes how opposing offensive coordinators build their game plan. And here's what makes this even more exciting for Steelers Nation. Parker is not coming in as a finished product. He is coming in as raw potential with elite upside. That is dangerous in the best possible way. In Pittsburgh, under a defensive culture that demands accountability, technique, and effort, players like this do not stay average. They evolve. They become monsters. This is also about timing. The Steelers are entering a new era, new leadership, new energy, a renewed focus on building a dominant identity. Drafting a player like T.J. Parker is not just a football move, it is a statement. It tells the league that Pittsburgh is not interested in being cute. They are interested in being feared. Because when you watch Parker's tape, you do not see a guy who needs perfect conditions to succeed. You see someone who wins with length, leverage, and will. You see someone who beats blocks even when the offense knows he is coming. That is what translates to Sundays. That is what travels in January. That is what survives playoff football. So while other teams may look at him and worry about the dip in production, the Steelers should be looking at him and seeing opportunity. Opportunity to steal a future star. Opportunity to build the next great pass rushing core. Opportunity to stay ahead of the arms race in the AFC. This is how the Steelers stay relevant without ever selling their soul. They do not chase hype. They chase traits. They chase mentality. They chase players who fit their identity. and TJ Parker fits the Steelers like a glove. Steelers Nation, this is exactly the type of prospect you want your front office to be obsessed with. High ceiling, physical dominance, defensive culture fit. The kind of player who does not just fill a roster spot, but defines a unit. So now I want to hear from you. Would you take TJ Parker in the first round if he is on the board? Do you believe the Steelers should continue building through the pass rush and dominate the trenches like they always have? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed to Steelers Nation Wire, because the future of this defense is being built right in front of us.